is that we don't know what's going to happen next. Interest rates are moving up. The tax system seems to be staying the same, where they tax us more money. By the way, entrepreneurs who feels taxes are coming. Taxes have, maybe you now know what you're going to pay this year. That's already kind of come through. So now we're paying taxes, and some of you didn't plan for it. Some of you did plan for it. We were also now at 5 months into the year. Some people have not hit their financial targets. I was talking to some gentleman this week who said, I want to make $1 million this year. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. We're going to make $1 million. I said, hey, bro, it's now 5 months into the year. How far are you along? What is the progress? Because I'm thinking you should at least have $400,000 in the bank by now if you're making $1 million this year. And he said, well, I've only brought in about 40,000. I was like, well, hold on. If you've only brought in 40,000, where is the rest of this million coming from? What is the strategy? Where is it coming from? And as we were diving into it, it turned out he hadn't been looking at his KPIs. He hadn't been looking back at his business and his structure, and he hadn't really been deciding like it was just supposed to come out of the air. Like he was working on stuff, but he didn't know what was working, what wasn't working. So that is a terrible story that I'm going to give you the solution to today. Before we do, welcome back, alchemists. This is the 52 Weeks to Wealth principle number 29, which is own 100% of your results. Show of hands if you're committed to building millionaires who are also committed to building millionaires. Show of hands if you're committed to doubling your income, doubling your net worth. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's what Alchemist Nation is all about. Financial freedom for all. I just recently updated the website, and I got a free gift for everybody who goes to alchemistnation.com today. When you go there, I'm going to give you access to your Millionaire Path report. If you have already done it in the past, it is updated. You're welcome. Go and take the Millionaire Path report, figure out where your path is to making your first $1 million, or if you've already done it before, make your second $1 million. Now, diving into this wealth principle, this, by the way, is one of past the middle. There's 52 wealth principles. Been on this journey now for 29 weeks together. Wealth Principle 52 will be at this year's summit. So this year, the Business Real Estate Summit is in Orlando. It's October 18th to the 20th. If you haven't already booked your tickets and you haven't already booked your hotel, do it soon. The hotel is booking up quickly, and Dorina has only room blocked about 600 room blocks, which is actually only for 200 people. So after that, the hotel is stuffed, and then you have to go and get Airbnbs and other hotels. Show of hands if you understand. It's easier to be in the hotel, so it makes more sense to check in now. So get your hotel nights, get your flights, and get your tickets now. They are still in the early bird special. Tickets are only $200 if you haven't purchased them already. If you are an event leader, we got your ticket. You already got yours. So let's give our event leaders a big round of applause. Love the community, love our leaders helping everybody out. So Wealth Principle 29, as we're going into it, there are two challenges that it will tackle for you. One is a lack of accountability, or another way to look at this is randomness in your business. Who here has made money and not sure like how they made money? Can't seem to reproduce it, can't seem to replicate. Has that ever happened to anybody? It's like the money came in and then it's like, well, where'd the rest go? It's kind of intermittent, kind of goes up and down. This, by the way, this principle, although it sounds like a mindset principle, this is not. This is a technical principle. So last week you got some mindset. This week we're actually going to go into the technical side of how to own 100% of your results. It's going to be very, very, I apologize, real. It's going to be very tactical, very strategic. So if you're here for the woo-woo, the mindset stuff, that was last week. You can log off, go watch last week's principle. But this week, today, we're going to dive into really some systems to track yourself. And today, you may get off this call saying, holy shit, I have failed. I have messed up. And you may have a sense of urgency and a sense of anxiety. Show of hands if you're okay with that, if that's what it takes to get to success. Excellent. So I apologize already. If you stay on, then it will be a little bit painful. The second one is not knowing what to do. So the first one is getting lost, kind of drifting, not taking the right actions. The second one is not knowing what the right actions are. Who here has ever not done something because you just didn't know what to do? Ever just, didn't take action because it's like, I don't know what the right action is. So today's principles, we're going to solve that. So first, the problem itself of not doing the right things the right way at the right time means that we don't get the results. Here at Alchemist Nation, we want financial freedom for all. If you go to the website, when you go to the website, alchemistnation.com, you can go to the About Us section, Gary Aker made that beautiful. It tells you exactly what we're here for, how we do it, why we talk about millionaires. And I want to confess to you that today, thinking about this principle, this whole week, thinking about this principle, owning 100% of my results, I admit I have failed on so many levels in my career, so many levels with each of you, so many levels with building wealth for you and tracking your wealth and doing all sorts of things that I really wanted to do for you. So my commitment to you, each of you on the call and each of you on Facebook, is we're going to get better at tracking your success. Show of hands if that's okay. If we have failed and we're going to do better. Excellent. That is I want each of you to hold me accountable to being much better at tracking your success and giving you better guidance so that you can move towards your goals significantly faster. I will be spending a buck ton of money on doing this right. And I will be spending a lot of time working with people and consultants to do this at a higher level. So one, thank you for your patience with me. And two, it is coming. So we are going to work on it. The challenge with not having tracked your success is you don't have the tools to go forward and make the right decisions. So we're going to give you some tools today. Show of hands if that's okay. Free tools? You like some? All right. Well, we'll see if you like them. So tool number one is accountability. So if we don't do things, if we're not doing the things that we're supposed to do, it could be because we're lacking a metric to figure out if it's working or not. And one of the simplest metrics to put in, which most of us have, is an alarm clock. Who here has at some point set an alarm clock and it woke you up? Little external accountability, right? Wasn't you, it was external outside of you. Who here has been at an event, but you knew you had a really important call to make, or you had a really important place to be, and you were like about to hit a plane and you had to set an alarm to make sure you left the house at the right time? Show of hands if you've done that before. Accountability. Perfect. So I want to give you an example of accountability that you could use today, that you can implement. And I learned this from a billionaire. Who here knows who Vinney Chopra is? Vinney Smile Chopra, the abundance mindset, the king of positivity brings profitability. You know, $1.6 billion UAM under management. Actually, I just found out him and his partners are 2.5 billion. When you add everything that him and his partners have together, it's actually 2.5 billion. Let's give Vinney Chopra a big round of applause for all the work he does with us. And for his success, I want to bless all the success he's had. He's 71 years old. Now, what Vinney told me is he sets an alarm every hour. Write this down. He sets an alarm every hour. And when the alarm goes off, he asks himself, what have I done that moves me towards my goal? Every hour, it's actually 10 minutes before the hour because he usually is on meetings at the hour, at the top of the hour. So let's say 12:50, he gets a bell that goes off that says, what have you done? Now, the bell doesn't say anything, but in his mind, every hour he has to account for the hour. He has to go back and look and say, what have I done? So, fans, if that's a form of accountability, you all have access to. Don't tell me, I don't have a wife. My kids don't hold me accountable. I don't have a coach. I don't have a mentor. I'm not a mastermind. I don't have the accountability. I'm not going to spend the money to get accountability. Dude, like, you got a phone. Set the hour and ask yourself the question, what have I done? Now, what Vinney has told me when he first started doing this, he actually would document everything. He would look at his calendar inside Google, and his calendar, what he would actually do is document the hour. Instead of saying, I've got to do this on my calendar, he would say, this is what I did in that hour. And so he's able to, at the end of the month, go back and look, how efficient was I in that day? How efficient was I in that day? What happened there? Why didn't I do this? What has happened to me this week? And he knows what happened. Who here has lost track of time? Don't know why you didn't get to where you wanted to go. Whole month goes by. 3 months goes by. It's like, you don't know. I don't know how I got here. This is journaling at a billionaire level. This is journaling at a whole other level. This is technology. Not only you can do this, you can send this to a virtual assistant and they can pull out all the notes and say, hey, this is exactly where you went wrong. They can make suggestions. You could hand this to a coach and a coach say, I know exactly what you did wrong. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. So fans were catching this. Start journaling, right? If you take the 5 minutes, the alarm goes off, take the 5 minutes, journal inside your calendar, set it and forget it. Run it on to the next thing. 2 or 3 bullet points on to the next one. What I do in this hour, what I do in this hour, what I do in this hour. It is also where I create my content. One of the things that I do obviously is post. Sometimes I'll have an hour that's really powerful. I'll brag about it. Sometimes I'll have a day that's really powerful. I'll brag about it. Sometimes I have a conversation with a person that's really important. I'll be like, wow, I had this conversation with this person. I don't remember it until I'm going to say, what did I do in this last hour? Show fans if you can be held accountable by yourself with a bell and a calendar. So you're so smart. That's a freebie. Number two is so number one is embrace accountability. Embrace accountability. I'm working with Thurman right now. Who's seen me and Thurman in the gym? I'm pushing him every other day. He can't even handle 2 times like every day with me. I go every day, right? I go every day, 1 to 3 hours a day. Thurman's like taking a day off, right? Taking a day off. Tomorrow is the first time back to back he's going to work out with me 2 days in a row. You know how long we're working out tomorrow? Drop it in the chat. How many hours do you think we're working out tomorrow? It's measured in multiples. Drop in the chat. How many hours do you think we're going to work out tomorrow? Because he's embracing accountability. He's embracing a little bit of pain in his life. A lot of people who are going to fail in this principle and fail in their business are afraid of accountability. They're afraid of telling their spouse what their goals are. They're afraid of telling their kids what they want to do. They're afraid of telling their community or their church or their family, hey, I'm going to go do this. Hold me accountable. Right? They'll tell people, I want to do this. I think I'm going to do it, and then not do it and be like, well, I didn't really have to. Drop it in the chat. All right, 12 hours. Okay. Raymond, no, not 12 hours, but it will be 5 hours. So let's give Byron James a round of applause. I love all these questions. I love all these off guesses. It will be 5 hours, and it would have been longer, except that we've got things that we got to do. Doreena's got a little calendar for me to go and do some stuff. Now, number two. So number one is embrace accountability. There's all forms of accountability. I'll list them off very quickly. Some forms could be coaches. They could be mentors. It could be your spouse. It could be an accountability buddy, accountability partner. It could be a mentorship. It could be a mastermind. It could be a person, a business partner. It could be all sorts of different options. Show fans, we got this. We got a list of accountability. I want you one, embrace accountability. Number two, focus on solutions. Number two is focus on solutions. So if I've had a bad hour, what could I have done better? If I have had a limiting hour, what could I have done to increase it? If I talked to 4 people and only one of them was the right person, what questions could I have asked earlier in the conversation to get off the call faster? What could I have asked prior to getting on a call to see if I should even get on a call? What can I do in advance to limit the amount of time I'm spending with people who don't belong in my world and my life? Who here has been around people? I just found out this morning, Heather Fraser posted on social media that she was talking to a 16-year-old girl, and the 16-year-old girl just found out that her very best friend has hated her the entire time that they have been friends. Absolutely hated this girl the entire time they were friends. And she said it to her. She's like, I have hated you this entire time. I can't stand you. I hate everything about you. And the 16-year-old girl just found out that she's been around her best friend. The girl she thought was like her tribe is a hater, a genuine hater, like genuinely, vehemently can't stand this girl. Show a fan if that's sad. But it's also her fault, because she hasn't tested that chick. She hasn't gone out and said, I deserve people who love me, who are obsessed with the same things I'm obsessed with, the things I deserve. So this poor girl, she just found out that the person around her isn't a good friend. So fans, if you found that out too, life will show you, right? Especially during the hard times, tough times, life will show you who the real people are, who the real friends are. I found that the real friends are the ones who pay you, the ones that bring you deals, the ones that motivate you, the ones that inspire you, the ones that will work out with you, the ones that will get you to go and do the right thing. Some of my real friends, I will never, ever meet. They're already dead. Some of the real friends, my real friends, wrote books, wrote podcasts. They have been doing talks they're gone now. I will never meet Zig Ziglar. The man's no longer on the planet. Show fans that's one of your friends as well. They give you a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, a lot of motivation. Les Brown, one of my heroes, I did get to meet. And when I met him, I actually got to help a person in front of him, and Les, he took me by the hand. He said, I saw what you did. He said, thank you. I wanted a picture with Les. I had to give up my opportunity to give this other person the chance to take a picture with him. She didn't have her phone. I had my phone. I was like, look, I got it. I'll take the picture. Her phone died. And I was like, I got this. I got my phone. I'll take the picture and I'll send it to you. And he said, look, I've got to go. I don't have time for a picture, but I want to tell you I saw what you just did. That was amazing. He said, you got greatness in you. I was like, oh, you're doing what every person does. Don't give me a compliment. You don't know me. I kind of suck. And he just pulled me in. He looked me right in the eye and said, son, you look at me, hear me. You have greatness in you. And you're going to help a lot of people. And I got chills, the same chills I have right now. I said, man, like Les knows something about me too. That's true. I am going to help a lot of people. Show fans if you're doing the same thing. That's right. So I'm going to encourage each of you to focus on the solutions. What is this girl's solution? Get new friends. All right, go get some people, get around people, get some tribe, get some people who want to do the things that you want to do. If you got haters around you, if you got negative Nellies, if you got unmotivated people and you keep spending time with them, it's not because you deserve better. It's because you haven't gone and found better. When you start spending time with people who are leveling up, when you start spending time with people who are high energy, when you start spending time with people who are closing real estate, who are doing deals, who are building business, who are selling, who are moving their lives up, you don't have a choice but to get rid of your old friends because you're spending all this time with these players. Show fans, you spend a lot more time with players now than you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. So focus on solutions. Here's a tactical approach. We're going to go into something called KPIs. These are key principal indicators. Show fans if you know what those are. Key principal indicators. Every salesperson on the planet has KPIs. Every human being on the planet is a salesperson. And so every human being on the planet has KPIs. Who here would love to live longer? Love to live longer. Example of a KPI, Michelle Young will tell you, she's spent a lot of time in the nutrition world. She's coaching people. Is that what you put into your body is what you get for a result. So you put the right food in, and if you put the right information in, you end up doing the right things, right habits. Here's another thing. If you go to the gym and you work out, there's a good chance you'll have the results of somebody who works out. If you never go to the gym and work out, there's a good chance you'll have the results of somebody who never works out. True or true? Absolutely. Let's give Michelle a round of applause. She's ready to unmute, like answer questions. Not yet, Michelle, at the end. There is a solution, a KPI. We could say if I spent 10 minutes in the gym every day, I'd be in better shape than somebody who doesn't show up to the gym at all. Now, if I spend 30 minutes in the gym every day, I would be in 3 times the condition of somebody who only goes 10 minutes a day. Now, here's what's interesting. If I only go to the gym 1 time a day, but I spend the same amount of time that somebody goes 10 minutes per day, that's 70 minutes. I spend 70 minutes 1 time a week. I will not have the same results as a person who goes 10 minutes per day. That person who goes 10 minutes a day every day will have significantly better results than a person who only goes to the gym 1 time a day for 70 minutes. Show of fans if we know that this is true. There are certain KPIs that have to happen daily. There's certain KPIs that have to happen every single minute or every single hour. One of those KPIs would be breathing. So fans, you have to do that. It's necessary. There's also the doctors will keep an eye on your KPIs, right? Heartbeats per minute. My heartbeat runs very low. I have a 40 to a 50 beats per second. Doreena's somewhere closer to 90. Every time I go to the doctors, they're like, well, oh man, this is unhealthy. Like we gotta check on you. And I just remind them I'm in the gym every day for 1 to 2 hours a day. My heartbeat is extremely slow because I'm a little bit athletic. And as soon as I say it, they're like, oh yeah, no problem. Because the KPI now makes sense with context. So if we get how that works in the physical body. Okay, so if it works in the physical body, how you do anything is how you do everything. It also works in your financial world. There are certain people who do need to make 100 calls a day. For sure, you need to because you don't have a network or you don't know how to filter your list. For sure, there are some people need to send 100, 200 messages if they're raising $1 million in capital. For sure, no question about it. And then there are some people who just have to make 1 phone call in a week because they know the relationship, they know the product, they know the person, and 1 call brings in that $1 million. Show fans, if we understand it's still a KPI, still needs to be done, but the number is different because of the person and what they've built and the relationship that they've set themselves up with. So new salespeople, new investors, your KPIs will be different from a person who is of extreme success and of extreme network. Also, when it comes to your rental properties, here's another KPI that will fuck you up a little bit. I hear all the time. By the way, show fans if you have a goal of how many units you'd like. Excellent. Excellent. Drop that goal in the chat. How many rental units do you want? Drop it in the chat. What is your goal? And as we're dropping them in the chat, I'm going to share with you a personal goal, and I'll share with you what the standard is, what everybody says to me, what I hear all the time. So drop in the chat. What is your goal? How many units do you want? I'll drop it in the chat. How many rental units do you want? Rental units, cash flow. Yeah, cash flow. All right. I see 1,300. I see 100. I see 100, 200, 50, 1,300, 3 units, 3 multifamilies, 50, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Wow, look at this. A bunch of syndicators on here. 1,000, 200, 100, 50,000. Let's go. Let's give everybody on the call a round of applause. We got units. Here's what I'll tell you that my mentor told me. What I've found as a real estate investor, units don't mean shit. Units are dependent upon the market. It doesn't really matter. I have a friend, I have a personal friend, has 1 unit. 1 unit pulls in $30,000 a month. 1 unit. They own a Staples. Show of hands if that's 1 unit. That's right. 1 unit pulls in 30,000 a month. The triple net lease, by the way, he doesn't have to do anything on that building. Triple net lease, no work. Just I don't have to fix, I don't have to plow the driveway, I don't have to fix the roof, nothing, 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 nothing. Triple net lease. Show of hands if that's different from having 30 units, multifamily. Yeah, it's a very different scenario. So units don't matter. It's all about cash flow. But for your investment strategy, units may be very relevant. I have an investment strategy. I buy units for about $40,000 to $50,000 a piece. When I couldn't do that anymore in Massachusetts, I didn't change my investment strategy. I changed my location. I shifted to the Midwest where I can still buy units for $40,000 to $50,000 a piece. That's my space. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I know very well. I have buddies who they only buy things that are $200 a year, $200,000 a unit. That's their space, right? They're luxury. They're A class. God bless them. That's not my space. That's not what I do. Now I own units that are worth 180,000 a piece, 185,000 a piece, but that's not what I paid for them. I paid 35,000 for those. I paid 40,000 for those. And it's just happened to be there in my price range what I purchase. So number two is focus on solutions. When you look at your KPIs, when you look at what is working and what's not working, you can start shifting your focus into things that are going to get you going in the right direction. If you are not owning 100% of your results, who is? Who's doing it for you? Who's got your back? Right? Who's keeping track of you? And I know like that's one of my commitments is to keep better track of you and to let you know, hey, based on where you're at, this is what you should be doing. We're not there yet, and I want to be cautious of my promises that I make. But I will promise you this, my burning desire is to have an automated millionaire building process, of an automated process that creates financial freedom for everyone inside of our community. So I want to be very clear when I say this. That's my intention for you. So fans will understand that's my intention. That's what I'm aiming towards. That's what I spend all my money and my time, and my resources and my relationships on. So that is my goal. I am not there yet. But I do have a process that builds millionaires. I do for sure have a process that makes people financially free. I do for sure have a process that helps people get to $10,000 passive income month in and month out. So fans, we understand that process is built. We built it. We've done 31 already. We're looking to scale up this year. That's something I have done, but I want to automate it. Who here has goals? You've done good things in your life. You want to make it better. You want to make it bigger. You want to scale it up. Part of scaling our system is bringing on salespeople. One of the things that I hear about is why are you selling your mastermind for so cheap? Who here knows masterminds are 25,000, 50,000, 80,000, 35,000, 100,000? Who here's heard of those? Show of hands if you've heard of very expensive masterminds. Yes, I hear it. I hear it. $6,000 is very expensive for people who can't afford it. It is. And it's very, very affordable for people who want it. Show of hands if that's true, right? It's just a matter of math. It's simple equations. I have people in my mastermind who are also my mastery program, and they've paid 10,000, and they would have paid 37,000. Now I know because I want to hold myself accountable. I want to hold each of you accountable. That as you're making decisions, as you're moving through your career and your investment choices, education is one. That's knowledge. Accountability is another one. We just talked about that. And then your network is the third one. All three of these combined. So the mastermind, I was asked this week because we just changed the price. So this my like guilt of raising the price on you. I apologize. It was $5,000 2 weeks ago. This week it was updated to $6,000. And we've already had people purchasing at the 6,000. So we know it still works. And when people ask like, why is it so affordable? It's because we're not a coaching company. That's not where we are. We're a real estate company. We want to invest with you. Our whole that 6,000, the whole mastermind, that's just a training component to our much bigger machine. A lot of these guys, they're just trainers. They're just coaches. That's where they make their money. We're an investment company. That's a qualifier for us. It's just an education to make sure you know how to invest, how to use the rest of our system, the rest of our millionaire building system. Does that make sense? It's like Toyota. A better example is Microsoft has training programs for Excel. They actually have training programs for Excel that you pay them to learn how to use their software so you can use their software better. It's the same exact system that we're building. Like the mastermind shows you how to use our millionaire building process and move through the process significantly better. So it's a little education component. By the way, let's give all of our mastermind members a round of applause. We're learning a lot from you and we're helping you move along the process. And so there's a lot of great information from them. Really, really helpful to be around the right people. Some benefits from ownership, from going through this process and building your own KPIs. We agree that the KPIs are going to be different for everybody. I did clarify that. Okay. So some of the benefits that you're going to get on the other side of doing the KPIs for yourself and taking the time to write them down. And I'll go through a process of how to identify what they are. First is that you end up with motivation. Who here would love to be more motivated? Love to know that things you're doing are right? So having your KPIs clearly set and having a little bit more accountability in your life, yes, it's going to scare you. You're, oh man, I'm being told what to do. This alarm's telling me every day what to do. Oh, my calendar's telling me I didn't do the right things. Ah, shit. Or maybe you hire a coach or you hire a mentor, or maybe you tell your spouse finally what your actually plans are. Like, because a lot of you are like staying at home, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and your wife has no clue what you do all day. And you are not telling them. Maybe it's time to bring your spouse on board and say, hey, by the way, I fucked off all day yesterday, but for about 30 minutes, I was actually effective. And I want to do more of that. Can you please hold me accountable? Show fans if that would already create a lot of pressure in a lot of people's lives. Yeah, I'm sure you're already doing it. All right. So one, you're going to get more motivation. Two, you're going to get a greater sense of control. And every entrepreneur needs control. Every great entrepreneur needs to be able to control their cash flow, control their expenses, control their clients, control their time, control their results that they're getting. By having these KPIs, by having this accountability system, you're going to get a greater sense of motivation, but you're also going to get a greater sense of control. So who here is ready to do some action steps? Ready to dive in and do this together? Build some KPIs? All right. Awesome. So number one, we want to set clear goals. KPIs are, like I've been explaining this entire time, KPIs are only relative to you. They're only relevant to your goal, to what you want to accomplish. So forget units for now. Forget the idea of how many sales we have to make or how many phone calls we have to make. What is the main core goal that you want to create for yourself? What is the goal? I know for Mitch Jorsky, he's always looking for passive income. He's always looking for cash flow. So his main goal is always a cash flow number. It's not a net worth number. He's got that already. It's not a how much crypto I hold, how much real estate I hold. He doesn't really care about that. He wants more cash flow for his lifestyle. So he's always looking at that passive cash flow number. And so you have to write that down. So right now, we're going to write down that goal, whatever your passive cash flow number is. If you are a business operator, every one of you owns a business. So if you're operating in your business, how do I get my business to cash flow without me involved? That makes it a true business. Me and Larry Steinhaus were talking about that earlier. It's like, if I had 200 units to be a real business, it wouldn't need me at all. It's like, yeah, do that. Do more of that. That's cash flow. So write down the cash flow number, the true passive. You are not needed. You could pass this to your daughter. You could pass this to your son. You could pass it to your cousin, your heirs, whoever you want to be. It would just pass to them, right? True cash flow number. Write that number down. And then obviously visualize that. That's what last week was all about. Visualize what that cash flow number actually would look like. This means nobody is involved to make that number happen. Show of hands, we understand. None of your family are involved to make it happen. True cash flow means you're spending your time with your family. You're spending your time with your friends. Now, people are going to have to make it work. Your property manager, it's going to be your business operators, your sales team, your manager, all the people are going to have to make it work, but you don't have to. That's a cash flow number. Number two, track your progress somehow. Track your progress somewhere. I do it inside Alchemist Connect. That is a CRM software that we've built out off of GHL, and it's just, we literally have metrics that tell me how many calls did the team make, how many people are in this part of the pipeline. I know how many people showed up to our events. By the way, last month, 450 people. Let's give Alchemist Nation a big round of applause. Our leaders, 450 people walked across 22 events. This is the first time, first month, we've had 22 active operational events. It's the first time we put 450 people through our doors. In January, we had 14 events, 247 attendees. So you as a community have nearly doubled how many people are coming in. Here's another cool metric. 80% of the attendees are brand new. 80% of the people walking through your door, 80% of the people who are coming to our events are brand new every single month. So fans, if you understand, that's a metric that I want to know of. So I track that. I put that down into a spreadsheet. Each month, I'm able to look at it and say, wow, we're doing better. And if we had them, I have some events that went in reverse. I had some events that, not Gainesville, Gainesville always goes up, but I had some events that went in reverse. I had 12 one month and then I had 3 the next month. We now know, call that leader, figure out what's going on. Is something wrong with the marketing? Did we not contact members? Did the email automations not go out? Did the text message automations not go out? We now have an ability to track. So number 2 is track your success. Track the metrics. Track the things that lead to your goal. So if you have a goal to make $1 million in 12 months, that means you're going to have to make $90,000 every single month, 87,000 every single month. So fans, if you understand, you'll know on day 1, have I made it or not? Day 1's $3,000. If I didn't make $3,000 on day 1, we're already off track. So fans, if you understand, the system works this way. You want to make $1 million a year. That means every day, $3,000 has to come in through your system. Every single day. So every day, you know, if you're working 10 hours a day, show of hands if you'd like to work 5. Who wants to work 5 hours a day? All right. So if you're working 5 hours a day, every day, every hour, if you didn't make $600, you know your time is off. 6 times 3,000, right? So every day we know that we're off. Dorina, can you find whoever's mic is unmuted? Just mute those mics. Awesome. Jamie, I got you. Write this down. Write these numbers down. This is what you're going to track. I want you to track your progress hourly, down to the hour. If you're only working 5 hours a day and you want to make $1 million this year, you need to make $600 an hour. Every hour you didn't make $600, guess what? You know you failed. Figure it out. So fans, you can do this. We'll see. Step number 3. Step number 3, take ownership of the mistakes. Take full ownership of the mistakes. Take full ownership of I didn't make my $600 this hour. Okay, my fault. What was I doing in the hour? What can I change? What was I doing in the hour? What can I change? What was I doing in the hour? What can I change? Type it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. What was I doing in the hour? What did I change? Type yes in the chat if you've got this. This is step number 3. Take full ownership of the results. If your team is failing, your fault. You hired them, you trained them. If your clients aren't calling you, your fault. You picked them, you didn't follow up with them. You didn't impress them. If you're not hitting the followers you want, your fault. How much content did you fucking put out? Show of hands if you understand. It's your fault all the time. Own the shit. Yes. I've been tracking my KPIs. I want to brag a little bit. Ken Ingram's on the call. I'll brag a little bit right now here. Actually, Billy Reuter, I told Billy 6 months ago, I told him, I was like, bro, I'm trying to get to 100,000 reach. 100,000 reach. And I'm trying to get to 14,000 followers. Now, these metrics don't matter, but they're metrics I set in my head, and it's part of my system is to improve what I'm doing constantly. Last 2 weeks ago, I hit 14,000 followers. So one, I'll take a round of applause. I've hit 14,000. This week, I hit 145,000 people reached. 145,000. My goal is 100. I am literally past that goal. I hit it about 3 weeks ago. I hit the 100,000 reach. I've been maintaining it, and now I'm at 145,000 reach without paid ads. The reason this is important to me, and the reason it should be important to you, is because it tells me who my customer is. It tells me who my avatar is. It tells me what they like, what they want, and so I keep it organic. The only thing I spend ads on is over on Alchemist Nation to bring more people in from retargeting from your events. So by the way, if you check into one of our events, we're going to send you ads. Show of hands if that's okay. Our ads are going to be this call here. It's going to be this, or it's going to be the summit coming up, the Business and Real Estate Professional Summit. So take ownership of your mistakes. This morning, who got a text from us? An additional text, an out of the norm text. That out of the norm text was because I was fucked up at 8 o'clock this morning. I texted the whole team. I said, guys, change the automation. It's not working. I want the automation to be more clear, more cut, no link in it. I want to just check to see if people are coming today. I want them to know we care about them. I had the management team. The only people who responded to you were Gary, Ron, Dorina, and Mark. Those are the only people who texted me, myself as well. I said, I want to be authentic. I want to be real. I want to be the highest level people in this community. I want us touching them, finding out why they're not coming, just finding out what they're doing in their life. We need to know. It can't just be an automation going out there and doing that. Show fans, that was fun this morning. If you got one of those texts and you got to talk to one of us, awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. Let's give the team a round of applause. That was because at 8 o'clock, I said, I don't think I'm owning the results of who's coming to this group. And even right now, we texted 2,500 people, and there's 74 on the call. And so I'm about to go dig a little deeper and figure out like how is it that the training isn't right? Do I need to improve some of that? Do I need to shorten it? Do I need to increase what I'm doing? Or is it that we've never gotten them on? They don't even know what it is. Maybe they're not sold on the fact that this is like the most valuable training they're ever going to touch in their lives. And if that's the case, we'll figure that out too, and we'll have our team reach out. So fans, if you understand, we're gonna get these results. Oh, come on, 100%. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. Let's dive into book of the week. This week's book of the week, I've said it a bunch of times. Michael Shine, our holistic attorney, our closer, the keeper of the books. What is this week's book of the week?
All right. Morning, everybody. This week's book is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Jocko Willink is all over YouTube. So you check him out because he's really about ownership. He's a Navy SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL, and he just really crushes it because the stuff that we deal with day to day, I mean, I'm assuming most of us is not as life and death as Navy SEALs going in where people get killed when you don't take 100% responsibility. And at the beginning of the book, Jocko talks about an incident where some of the soldiers got killed and everybody was trying to say it wasn't your fault, but it really, Jocko just took responsibility for it and stepped up and said, no matter what, if you're the leader, I just feel like this book is so timely right now because it just seems that a lot of people are always looking for somebody else to blame and for somebody else to be the victim. And then you see Jocko, who's this balls to the walls Navy SEAL guy saying, listen, just take responsibility for everything. And what's so awesome about that is that if you take responsibility for everything, then you can fix everything. If you give that responsibility to somebody else, if you said, oh, I didn't get this property because my realtor didn't do their job, well, you can't fix that. Now you've given away all your power. And the book is just chock full of advice about how to do that and strategies. It's actually very similar. I've been listening to Gualter, very similar to what he's been saying on this call. All the little strategies. It's just, Gualter started today by saying today's a strategy day, not a mindset day. And this book is just filled with those kind of strategies to get you to realize that you should just take ownership of everything. And that way you can solve every problem. Funny story, as married couples do, sometimes Brenda and I get in an argument and so we're in an argument. I go up to my bed and on my pillow is this book sitting on the pillow. Little subtle, take extreme ownership at every moment. And it made us laugh. And yeah, so take extreme ownership. It's such a great book. And Jocko is, like I said, you can find him all over YouTube. He's amazing. And happy birthday, Mitch Jaworski. Thank you.
Give Michael Shine a round of applause. It is Mitch's birthday, so we got a little special thing that he's going to share with us coming up. For each of you, as we're going into guided meditation, we do this every single week. Doug McGurk is not on the call, so we will not have music. And because I am so amped up on taking action, this will be a slightly faster guided meditation. So it will not be as slow and calm as we normally do it, but I want to give you one that I built for myself. And it's something I actually took from Marshall Silver, who trained my initial my person who trained me on hypnosis and guided meditation was trained by Marshall Silver. Show of hands if you know the greatest hypnotist of all time is what his claim to fame is. All right, so if you don't know Marshall Silver, he's the greatest hypnotist of all time. And a lot of his students, I'm actually not a fan of a lot of his students, but One of his students, Mark Usick, is fantastic. What a wonderful, wonderful, warm-hearted human being. And he uses the gift of hypnosis to help people reach their goals, to help people reach their financial success. And he doesn't charge them hundreds of thousands of dollars. He charged me $1,000. And it was the best, one of, I would say, the best return on investment I've ever had, because I created this hypnosis for myself, which allowed me to start doing the things that I wanted to do. Show of hands if you're excited for this hypnosis. Excellent. So you do not have to close your eyes, but it is optional. But if you are driving a vehicle, it is unoptional to keep your eyes on the road. So keep your eyes on the road. If you're operating heavy machinery, if you've got kids around you, remember, you close your eyes for 1 second, they're electrocuting themselves. So keep your eyes on your children, keep your eyes on the road. If you're working, keep your eyes on the hot stuff in front of you. For everybody else, you can unmute you can mute your microphone, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and turn your camera off. That makes you more comfortable. Find a comfortable seated position, uncrossed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. This is something called the focus session. And as I was building my wealth, I got to a place where I realized it was all on me. And if I continued to focus on the right tasks, I would have the right results. So as you continue to go down this focus session, I want you to inhale and imagine breathing in clarity, focus, and determination. So again, as you inhale, I want you to imagine breathing in clarity, focus, and determination. And as you exhale, release any tension, doubt, or distraction. Now, as your awareness to your heart center, as you bring awareness to your heart center, visualize a bright light glowing within your chest, radiating warmth and strength. With each breath, feel this light expanding, filling your entire being with a sense of empowerment and ownership. Imagine yourself standing at the helm of your life, your business, and your financial destiny. See yourself taking full ownership of your actions, decisions, and outcomes. Now, as you repeat the mantra silently to yourself, I want you to keep in mind that this is true for you. I am the master of my destiny. I own 100% of my results. Feel a deep sense of confidence and conviction welling up inside of you. Now, every time you say this statement, I am the master of my destiny. I own 100% of my results. Feel a deeper sense of confidence and conviction inside of you every time. Run it again and again inside your head. I am the master of my destiny. I own 100% of my results. Visualize yourself overcoming obstacles with grace, learning from setbacks with resilience, and celebrating victories with gratitude. Know that you have the power within you to create the life and business you desire and are the architect of your success. And every choice you make leads you closer to your goals. Take a moment to bask in this feeling of ownership and empowerment. Allow it to permeate every cell of your being, igniting a fire of determination and drive within you. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, carrying this sense of ownership and determination with you into this webinar, into this world, and beyond. You can open your eyes. And as you're coming back to the room, yeah, I'll take a clap. Absolutely. The reason that guided meditation was shorter was because I needed something I could do quickly before appointments. I needed something I could do quickly before I started my day. I needed to just be able to play that recording. I recorded it for myself, by the way. I recorded it, and it was just something I would just play. I had on my phone, 3 minutes, and I would just listen to it. And it would just get me going. Like right before I jumped on calls, right before I got into a negotiation with a seller. I'd be on the car driving, and I'd be about to get to an appointment, and I would just play this. And it would like, okay, that's right. Like I am the master of this. I'm 100% ownership. no matter how this goes, I'm making good decisions and every decision leads to my goals. And it just helped me make better, more confident decisions. And I just trusted the process. So what I will do, if that's something interesting to you, is I will cut this out. Would it be valuable to have that hypnosis cut out? Maybe add some music to it. I will do that for you today. And I'll drop that inside Alchemist Nation, the community section. I'll just drop it right in there. So if you're not already a member inside there, go do that. Get that taken care of. So fans, this is valuable. Awesome. My favorite part is a Q&A session. We're going to jump over to that. Again, if you are new to Alchemist Nation, go to alchemistnation.com, get access to all the free stuff. Most importantly is get your Millionaire Path report updated. Go and get your Millionaire Path report. It is a free service that we provide to you. It's also how we track you. So as we track over the years, if we're identifying that there's a person, a coach, a course, something that's important to you, we will reach out to you and just answer the phone. So you don't have to always, we don't always going to call, we'll text you. So make sure that your text settings inside, just never hit the stop button with us. Because if you hit the stop button, that stops all of our coaching. Our goal is to make sure that that process is never annoying. If, however, Joe fans, if you're hearing this, if we text you something that sounds stupid, is unrelated to your goals, it seems like it's disconjointed to the conversation, please text us immediately and say, hey, what the F? This doesn't feel real. Or what the hell? Who is this? This isn't what I'm used to. This isn't Gualter. This isn't Darina. This isn't Mark. This isn't Thurman. Whoever you feel like you're talking to, if they say something stupid, please let us know immediately. Show fans, if you agree. The only way that I can make sure that this system is working well is if you tell us it's not working well. So as we are experimenting, I want to be very clear. If you are messaged by AI, the AI will tell you who it is. The name of our AI we're testing right now is called Tony. So if you hear a message from Tony AI, that is a complete AI system that we're using so that we can help people move through the millionaire building process a little bit faster. That is specifically trained exactly the way I speak. So it will not tell you this is Gualter. It will say this is Tony AI. Show fans if that makes sense. Authenticity, honesty. We want you to know who you're talking to. Everything else is coming from who it says it's coming from. We use the same phone number though. So if any one of us annoys you, please tell us right away because we all watch the same chats. Show fans if that makes sense. By the way, the chats are watched by Darina, and she is vicious with all of us. We're all very thankful for it, but she's also very vicious with that was not the right text to send to that person who's doing this, and she's very quick to fix what's going on. That being said, we're going to jump into Q&A session. Oh, Darina did want me to tell you, Train the Trainer is coming up. If one of you wants to learn how to speak better, sell from stage, raise capital from stage, do webinars to teach people about your investment strategy so that they can invest with you, or you're looking for deals, you want to teach wholesalers how to find off-market deals for you. If you're looking to teach a wholesaling boot camp or something like that to bring in more deals, more business, Train the Trainer is coming up. Darina, what are the dates for Train the Trainer? That is, by the way, if you're in Mastery, already paid for. You already got that. It's covered. If you're in the mastermind, you do get a discount for Train the Trainer. And if you are not in the mastermind, you should get in the mastermind because they're getting a really steep discount. Otherwise, it's $1,000 for everybody who's not inside the mastermind. So, Darina, when is the dates for Train the Trainer?
It's June 28th through 30th, last weekend of June. Yes.
Okay. So that will be in person. That is taught 100% by me. I have sold and raised more capital from stage than anybody that I know who would be willing to do it for this community for free. So I don't think we have the budget to go and pay somebody $50,000 to come in and teach us. So I'm going to be doing it with my personal experience of what's worked for me. So fans, if you know, that'll be badass to hang out with me. It's a smaller group. I think there's 19 people registered right now. So it is a much smaller group, and we're going to be going really personal on your personal talk. What I want you to have at the end of this, at the end of Train the Trainer, is you're going to have a 30-minute presentation that you can give everywhere over and over for the rest of your life. It's called the perfect presentation. Every speaker needs it. Every capital raiser needs it. Every investor, every company, every operation needs to have a talk that they use on podcasts, on webinars, on seminars, on stages. You need to have your 30-minute talk because a 30-minute talk can be expanded to an hour talk. And we expand to an hour and a half talk. But a hour and a half talk is a bitch to condense down to 30 minutes. Any speaker knows what I'm talking about. Try to get a speaker down to a 20-minute talk or a 10-minute talk, impossible. But 30 minutes, that is, it's the ultimate talk. So everybody who's jumping off, let's give them a big round of applause. Trainers coming up, you are welcome. This will be the only time I teach it this year. I do not know if I'll teach it next year. I really don't know if I'll teach it next year. Let me know if I can help a trainer. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Send me a message. I'll let you know. And we're going to go to Q&A. I love the Q&A session. By the way, Millionaire Path Support is alchemiststation.com. Your Millionaire Path Support is the third step on the process. First unmute wins. Give me an example of owning 100% of your results, Michelle Young.
Hi, everyone. So owning 100% of your results. An example, like, say you screw up in some way. I think it's important to really emphasize screwing up. Yes, we want to take responsibility for what we are doing well. Like celebrating our wins is of course really important, but say you mess up in some way, if you're not taking responsibility or you're blaming someone else, you're not going to grow, right?
I like this. I'm going to give an example that Michelle doesn't want me to give then. Perfect. I love it. Thank you. So here's what I do know about Michelle. I know three things. One, she runs our best group, our best growing group. Gainesville by far is growing consistently. It's the only group in all of our system that is growing every single month. And she's catching up to Gary. Now, Gary obviously runs our best event because Gary is headquarters. He's centered. He's figured it all out. He's mapping it. But Gainesville is a smaller city by 400,000 population. It's only got 200,000. Tampa's got 600,000, and she's catching up to us. So one, I know that about her. Two, she makes the best cookies. Oh my God, I go to Gainesville for the cookies. And check this out. I send people to Gainesville for the cookies. Last week I couldn't make it, so Thurman brought the cookies back. But three, she's a magnificent coach, right? Magnificent life coach, success coach. Absolutely fantastic. Knows how to move people through and like move a person towards success. But she got into a niche of nutrition. She got certified as a nutritionist, and she was really focused on selling nutrition. And she was selling these like super cheap, affordable packages of nutrition because she couldn't get what she could make on the life coaching side of things. And she was making a lot of money on the life coaching side of things. So she wasn't looking at that KPI. She really was passionate about nutrition, but obviously the bills get paid by helping people where the money is, where they're willing to pay you for the help. People aren't willing to pay on nutrition. They're willing to help, keep their marriage together, keep their business right, increase income, all the important things. And so I had a conversation where I was like, Michelle, can we just go back to the life coaching thing? Can we please just go back and do what you're really good at? And the benefit of working with you is also the nutrition plan. And she agreed. So if you want a life coach who also knows a nutrition plan, let's give Michelle Young a round of applause.
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I wasn't doing life coaching before. I mean, in a way, being a dietitian, being a health coach is a niche of life coaching, sure. But no, I spent my entire career like becoming a registered dietitian. So like undergrad, master's, internship, all of this stuff. I was actually having, I would say, some type of identity crisis of like, okay, my passion does extend a little further than this nutrition arena. But it didn't take until Gualter telling me, hey, you're a life coach. You can help people with so much more. That made me like actually feel okay with changing it up. So thank you, Gualter.
Let's give Michelle a round of applause. It's called sunk cost fallacy. So when you've done something for so long, you think you got to keep doing it, and that's the way it's going to solve the problem. But just because you've been doing something so long doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It just means that you've been doing it for a long time. That's the only fact. Go ahead, Ken.
I was gonna piggyback on what Michelle said. The summit kind of brought me full circle and helped me think about a time that I was happier, and I've gone full circle, and now I'm running a hotel, which was my first career. And I hate to tell you, but I'm going to resign from Novus on Monday. Done.
Dan, if you don't mind disclosing, ballpark figure, how much gross revenue you pulling through that hotel right now?
We're doing about 35,000 a month. And it's climbing. Yeah. We expect, I mean, gross revenue, I think we'll probably hit 425 in a 12 months calendar. We're still curious to see what's going to happen in November and December. The prior owner used to close during the winter, and we're not doing that.
And so you purchased this for 1.8
Seven,
million,
1.7,
1.7, and you only owe 1.5?
1.425.
1.425 on this, and you're pulling in $35,000 a month.
Yeah.
With potential to grow.
Yeah, we're definitely going to grow.
And what you're telling me is that it was your time at the summit that inspired you to get back into your passion and what you're really good at and own the thing instead of doing the work.
It started the search, you know. It's you were a little bit pushy about telling me to figure out what I wanted to buy, and I needed to invest in real estate. I had the attitude that there were no good deals, and I really couldn't find any, and until I found a couple of hotels, and it led me back to what I actually got my first college degree in at the second best school in the country in hospitality management. And you know, I when I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know that I wanted to live on a nice resort, and I didn't know how it was possible to get there, and we came full circle. So
Ken, I don't think you're on your final resort. I think this is just the little puddle jumper, the little thing that you're just kind of getting in there to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's give Ken Ingram a round of applause. Fantastic. I love it. These are the stories. By the way, what Ken didn't tell you is he made $2 million in that purchase. Ballpark. He bought it for 1.7 and it is worth closer to 3 right now. And probably a little bit more than 3. What is it worth, Ken? What do you think?
I'd say probably 3.3 to 3.5.
One more time. Round of applause. That's absolutely amazing. That is the power of real estate.
It is good to find a business that has more than 50% cash, because there's a really good chance that the owner you're buying it from was not reporting all of the income. And that is exactly what I fell into. You know, he reported $330,000 in revenue, gross revenue in 23. And I mean, we could do that, you know, running. I mean, it's the 330 is super easy to hit, and it looks like there's about 100,000 missing from his sales.
Fantastic.
He had on his website that anybody who brings cash will get a 15% discount.
Okay, cash deal. He did partial seller financing of that, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That's
200 grand.
These deals are happening right now. You closed that 3 weeks ago? That was 3 weeks?
Yeah, about 3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks ago, he stayed a week, then he went to Germany, and now he's back. One more time, let's give Canning a round of applause. He's in the mastermind, and we got to kind of watch that deal happen from start to finish. He evaluated the deal before he purchased it in front of all of us. Then he evaluated the deal after he purchased it. He kind of told us a story of how he was financing it, how the deal was going along. So we actually got to watch that develop every single week. So it's cool to be able to share this out with the whole community now that it's closed. You know, inside the mastermind, we make sure we don't go outside and tell people the stories. Mitch Jorsky's birthday is today, and so let's give Mitch Jorsky a big round of applause. Mitch, do you have a rap quote for us or a principle for taking ownership? That I think maybe you could talk a little bit about how you took ownership of your cash flow and real estate portfolio this year.
I certainly can get into that, but surprisingly, I actually have a really good rap quote because it's been a minute. It's been off the rap quote game. And I think it touches on, you know, taking ownership. It does lean into mindset and I think perspective. And it's funny because I think it's one that you can relate to, because I don't think people realize, if you've been to Fall River, and maybe it's not as bad now, but if you've been to Fall River, you'll realize that it's kind of ghetto. Like people don't think, maybe because it's predominantly white that it's ghetto, but like you can live in the ghetto and like it's not a black white thing. It's a what's your town like thing. And Gualter, got to start there, but obviously he grew up in, this town that was kind of ghetto and kind of poor and a lot of drugs and so you can get caught up in that mindset and plenty have, I've met some people he grew up with that turned their lives around after going down a dark path. But anyway, I digress. So I saw this quote and it's funny because I forgot about it. It's from an old school rapper, KRS-One. It's what got me into hip hop back when I was a teen growing up in New York. And it's technically a poem that he read in the middle of a concert. So anyway, I'll try and read it in his voice just so it sounds cool, but I'll fail terribly. But I think it's something really good to share. So what he said is, the rich get richer because they work towards rich. The poor get poorer because their mind can't switch. From the ghetto, let's go. It's not a novelty. You can love your neighborhood without loving poverty. Educate yourselves, make your worldview bigger. Visualize wealth and put yourself in the picture.
That actually is very special to me. I used to say I'm going to make my small corner of the world better. I used to say I'm going to make Fall River a better city. That was my big mantra, my big mission when I was in the city. And it wasn't until I did some soul searching, spent a lot of money on coaches, and went really deep that I realized what I wanted to do in Fall River, what I did do in Fall River, I want to do across the country. And feeling that sense of urgency that if I don't show up, who will? If I don't show up, nobody will. I actually, Mitch, I want to share. I was in Thurman in the gym this morning. I had this exact conversation with him. I told him that I haven't been sensing the sense of urgency from him. I told him, I was like, I haven't felt like you own the responsibility of every human being inside Alchemist Nation. I don't feel like you haven't called them, you haven't texted them, you haven't reached out to them and checked in with them to see how they're doing, what their goals are, and where they're at. And I told him, I was like, bro, like I am pissed off every day that my team isn't calling our community and checking in to see how they're doing. To me, that's a failure on me. And so, like, you're not owning the responsibility of these people's results. You're not owning the responsibility of like making sure they're okay. Like, some of these people text me like, man, like I was having a bad day. Thank God you made that post, right? This post is like exactly what I need to hear. Or I'll text the person like, man, like I really need to hear that today. Like, wow, how did you know to reach out to me? It's like I didn't. I message people in a consistent manner, and eventually I get around to you. Like that's kind of how it works. Is I try my best to, but there's 13,000 people inside our database. 13,000 people have come through our events or our webinars or our trainings. And I just told Thurman, I was like, bro, like you have to own problems that are not yours, right? I didn't make your problems. I didn't create your life problem. Every one of you spent your money. You spent your time wrong. You spent your knowledge wrong. You didn't take the right actions. You didn't call the person. That's not my fault. But I'm showing up because I own it. I want your success in many cases more than you do. And so I'm building the system. I've spent the $1.3 million on a system that gets you to be rich. That wasn't you who spent that. I mean, some of you. Anybody who bought into the mastermind, yes, I took all your money and I've invested it into these systems for sure over the last 4 years. But for the rest of you who haven't bought into the mastermind, the mastermind members are what funded this solution, right? It's me and the team and the coaches and the volunteers and all these mentors and the people who came before you, the millionaires that we have built. They're the ones who gave us the information, that talked to us, that communicated with us. And if I didn't show up, and I said this to Thurman, I was like, look, if I don't show up tomorrow, because this morning, if I don't show up to this 52 weeks to wealth, nobody's going to die. But I made a promise. I made a commitment to this community that I would show up every single Saturday to teach these principles, teach them better, to get a higher level, to increase my skills, my knowledge, and the tools that we're giving. And if I didn't show up now, because I think of millions of people, then that whoever shows up, the 62 that are still on this call, would be let down. So at some point, something changed. I owned the responsibility for your problems before you knew I existed. But I was already coming for you. I was already hunting for you. I was already looking to solve your problems. I was already knew they were my problems too. And I already wanted to solve that at a higher level. And so I beseech each of you to read that poem again that Mitch just shared with us and say, maybe I own the results of other people too. Maybe there's other people that I could help. Maybe there's other people outside of me. Maybe I don't have to be in my city to still serve my city. Maybe I have to be in poverty to be able to help people who are experiencing poverty. And maybe I can make that switch in my mind. Man, wow, Mitch, so good. Let's give Mitch Jorski a big round of applause. What a great share. Fantastic. And let's give Durbin a round of applause. He got a lashing this morning. Yeah, I went off on him in the gym. I was like, bro, like, don't give me shit. There's so many people out there that I'm trying to help. If you're not getting in it, like, don't give me excuses. Get out there and help somebody. There's a lot of people in this community who need some help. Yeah, so please, like, so let's give Durbin some support. If he messages you, if he texts you, if he calls you, if he says, hey, who do you know who wants to get in the mastermind? Send him somebody who needs the mastermind. Send somebody who needs to get into it. Gary Aker, you wanna share a little bit about?
I just want to say, from a leader's perspective, I have a long time in the Army and stuff like that, and teaching leadership. But and all of you guys that are coaches, this if you ever coached anybody.
Hold on, Gary. 22 years in the military, 10 or 12 of them. He was a master sergeant
24 years.
24 years in the military, 9 children. He's married for multiple decades. And so he's been doing leadership for basically his whole life. And he's been a bad leader and he's been a great leader. And he's improved and built some really great leaders. And he's done a wonderful job with our leadership team inside Alchemist Nation. So before Gary tells us his tip, let's give him a round of applause for all the work he does with us. And he's a leader in his church. There's a lot of leadership going on.
So what I want to say is that at all levels of leadership, whether it's with your children, with your family, at your job, anywhere that you are a leader and an influencer. And that's what a leader is. A leader is just someone who's able to influence others. And so it doesn't matter if you're the boss at work or if you're just a worker who is influencing those around you. That's what we call 360-degree leadership, being able to influence those that work for you, those that work with you, and those and your bosses. If you don't have influence over them, then you're not a leader. But the whole thing is, at all levels of leadership, not only owning your own results or taking ownership for that, but your job as a leader is 90% done when you can get other people to take ownership for their results, because it is completely foreign in today's world. We live in a victim society where they reward you for your victimization and why you weren't able to do something, and I couldn't do this because I'm a woman. I couldn't do this because I'm Hispanic or I'm Black or I'm white. I'm a white straight male. I'm the most oppressed guy, right? So all of these things are excuses, and getting people to understand that everyone has trouble in the world. Everyone has difficulties. You have to own your results. And once you can get through to other people that they own their results, that's when you get somewhere. And if you can't get them through and get them to understand that and stop making excuses, they're never going to go anywhere. And that's where you have to cut the line. But this is probably one of the biggest principles, and it applies in our own personal lives, and it applies into the lives of those that we're leading and influencing. So it's great lesson today.
Give Gary a round of applause. He is, I'll give each of you kind of a little awareness. Who here has read Rocket Fuel, knows about the visionary integrator? So recently, for years, Ron was my integrator, and more recently, Gary has shifted in to take on far more responsibility in that integration role so that Ron can stay in his role of CFO and shareholder of Alchemist Nation. So let's give Ron a round of applause on not a retirement. He's still busting his ass, but he's in a different capacity and he's much happier with where he's at. And Gary is now busting his ass. And I think he's in a totally different capacity, but he's loving where he's at as well, even though it's a lot more work on him. So let's give Gary a round of applause. Integrating all of Alchemist Nation's activities, including our investments, is quite a bit of responsibility. Each of you has one gift that I've been giving you, which is your Millionaire Path Report. That is, go to alchemiststation.com and fill it out. Millionaire Path Report is a 6 to 7 page report. It is 100% designed around you becoming a millionaire. Now, what I am working on is a financial freedom version of it, and I will be doing some work on your actual income section. If you look at the report now, it's going to say the income section's coming soon. Eventually, I will actually be building out that income section, which is a little bit more complex. But after almost 600 calls, it's now actually it's closer to 700 calls I've had with people within the community over the last 5 years. I think I'm ready to go and do it. So I won't have it done now, but after the summit, that is one of the projects I am committing to be working on, is to get that updated to have an even tighter financial freedom component versus just the millionaire component. Show of hands if that's, we understand. All right, work in progress. I got a little patience, but hold me accountable to it. It will be out sometime next year. And quick share, I did fix the website last night because I was extreme owning some stuff. And so now when you go to the website, it says achieve more. But if you would like to hear about Alchemist Station, go to the About Us page. Gary worked very hard on this. And so I'd love for each of you to go spend a little bit of time on the About Us page to learn a little bit about Alchemist Nation and what we're doing. The goal is making financial freedom available to everyone, and you can go right there and check it out. But let me show you what I'm proud of. This is just me, the nerd, talking to you for a moment to say, hey, I went on WordPress last night and I made this happen. So when you go to the mobile site, you can see book a call, which is a free call to you to talk to somebody on our team. Step one, achieve more together. Step one, join our virtual networking meeting weekly. That's now on Thursdays at 5. Step 2, dive into the 52 weeks to wealth. Give yourselves a round of applause, by the way. You already figured out step 2. You're already here. Step 3 is discover your millionaire path, a personalized 6 to 7 page roadmap, clear path to gaining $1 million in equity, completely customized for you. And step 4 is actually book a call, get a free strategy session with somebody on our team. The people on our team are trained to ask you the right questions to help you leverage the report that you just got. And then obviously step 3 is register for the summit. The Business in Real Estate Investor Summit is literally 153 days away. So let's give every one of you a round of applause for getting ready. I'm excited. We'll take one more question. We'll stick around. It's 11:11. I'll stick around for 4 more minutes. One more question. Darina, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Ken. Oh, go ahead, Billy, then. Bye, Ken. Peace out. And thanks for the story, brother. We love you.
Can we give Gualter a round of applause, guys? Because I think he deserves it.
Is it for the website? Is that why?
For everything in general. You do
Just
a good
'cause
job
you
with us, so we
freaking rock.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you rock, Walter, just because. So that you're right, Jen. Let's just give him a round of applause just because he rocked. And that baby on the side too. Because Darina working hard through a lot. She's still killing the game. And with us flat stomachs, and she's still killing the game. So yeah, kudos for you, Walter, Darina, and the whole team, actually. The whole entire team.
Thank you. Thank you. Deborah runs Fort Lauderdale. She's leading Fort Lauderdale. Jennifer runs Jamaica Plain in Boston. Let's give them a round of applause. Helping out, supporting. I see Brian Kent is on here. He recently launched his book, The R Factor. It's out. Fantastic. Go ahead, Billy. Billy, by the way, just got approved to be one of the speakers at the summit, a very highly coveted position. Mitch Jorsky also approved to be a speaker at the summit. We only have 8 speakers this year, so we've cut it down, trimmed quite a bit, but we do have some sick panels, which we'll be releasing those soon. I'll be releasing the speakers soon as well. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So first off, can't wait to hit the stage again, Alchemist. My God, my absolute highlight of my year last year. I'm obviously looking to over-deliver again and even make it better than last year. One thing that keeps coming up for me, and I really, really hope this lands, is mindset sometimes gets confused, right? We put it in 2 different categories. And although he already jumped off, I'm going to use Ken. And I know he wouldn't mind because him and I are friends and we talk all the time, right? He needed mindset first, right? A conversation with Gualter, one conversation stimulated a different belief system in his mind. That new mindset allowed him to have a different perspective. There are no deals. This is out of his mouth and it's on this recording, so don't take my word for it. There are no good deals. Gualter expanded his mindset. You expanded his perspective. He then looked in a different direction. That internal reflection allowed him to find or attract, like Michael Schein would understand, right? Or attract this incredible deal. He then moved into action. And here's what I want to share with you. His action and the millions and all that greatness, what do you think that did for his mindset? His mindset now is reaffirmed. It's strengthened. It's unbreakable. That's the trifecta, right? That's really what I want to come across. There is no separation. Your mindset is reaffirmed by your strategy, by your schedule. They work together. We don't do a mindset thing here and then work on our strategy here. I promise you, understanding that integration is what happens, right? Michelle Young, unbelievable leader, right? We had a beautiful talk yesterday. She's able to shape people's lives, right? And before she became this unbelievable unstoppable coach, even through dietary movement and dietary, guidance, that reaffirms the belief. When you release the weight, your mindset gets more empowered. When you build the business, when the money comes in, your mindset is never ending. It is a nonstop journey. Love you all. Happy birthday, Mitch, you handsome son of a gun. Can't wait to hit the stage with you, brother. Love you all.
Give Billy Reuter a round of applause. That is 11:15. Let's get some words from the Russian princess. She is 8 o'clock this morning. I texted her. I was like, I need this done. I need the text sent out to the community to get it done. Because I was walking with Thurbin and I was giving him a lot of shit. And I was like, I was like, bro, the way you're texting people is not real. Like, you got to be real. You got to be authentic. And then I realized, wait, how am I texting people? Is that real? Is that authentic? Was my team aware of like how I want these conversations to go? And so I was very specific. I was like, these 3 types of texts, send them. Be real, be authentic. It's so important. Go ahead, Darina. Give some shares.
Oh, yes. Awesome call today. I copy pasted the quote from Mitch on my desktop. I love it. Yeah, this morning, just a good example. We had a little shift in our approach to reach out, and without a question, we jumped in. I assumed ownership, then I see Gary assume ownership, so we're both helping out with responses. So yeah, sometimes I feel like the sense of urgency doesn't allow you more time to, who is responsible for what? You just jump on the task, you do it, you own it, like assuming that you're the only person doing it. And yeah, it takes more time to find someone to do it sometimes. I don't know if it's a good principle because, we learn to do it, delegate, but there are moments where we just jump on the task and we do it and we own it, and then keep the mission moving forward. And yes, I am having my baby anytime soon, so I might be taking off a month or so from these calls, but I'm here today. I'm very happy, very empowering, and we're super excited for Gary. His daughter is graduating today from high school, so we're gonna go see in an hour or so. We're gonna go hit the church.
Let's give Darina a round of applause. 36 weeks pregnant. She hasn't complained more than a few times.
37 and a half.
37 and a half, but who's counting, right? We're there. We're officially not premature. Now we're full term. So little guy can jump out any day. And I keep NLPing him. I'm like, bro, come on out. Come on today. Today's the day. Let's go.
No. Tomorrow we have a comedy show. And after that, please, anytime.
All right. So after Kevin Hart, after any point after Kevin Hart, we can go and we can see. So we are going to go see Kevin Hart live here in Tampa. So there's a question in the chat. Is this more about using an intuitive AI algorithm for harnessing wealth long term? Z, I love the question. Maybe. We will see. So the answer is it wasn't intentionally. That wasn't the reason we started it, or that wasn't the path we thought we would go. Right now, we do seem to be leveraging AI to keep our community motivated. So that is one of the avenues we plan on using, because Gary's been using it to keep me flossing my teeth every day. And so we kind of experimented with that. And believe it or not, that AI goes on and tells me something different every day. And I'm like, good point. I'm going to go floss my teeth right now. And so it's actually been effective on something so small, but I was having a hard time remembering to do it. Show of hands if you know, you got to floss your teeth every day. It's important. Yeah. The dentist will tell you, and I wasn't doing it. I wasn't raised that way, so I had to learn the hard way, and we are using the algorithm to do that. But no, that is not really our intention, Z. Our intention is multifamily investing and owning businesses. But if it turns out that there is a way to have an algorithm actually manage wealth, and it turns out to be very effective and very long-term effective, then at some point we will probably go in that direction. But if that is a thing that has been around for 3 months, there's no way you'll hear me talk about it because I do not trust new shit. I only trust systems that have been around for centuries and hundreds of years, like business and real estate. Show fans, we understand the technology hasn't been around long enough for me to build a system around it, but we will be experimenting with it. And Ron and I have experimented with AI trading bots in the Forex space. And Ron and I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in that arena. So we're very cautious about anything that is algorithm or AI related when it comes to finances. We still believe the best thing to do is train you and make sure you're making the right decisions when you're out there in the real world when it matters. Show fans, if you agree, you're probably the best AI there is. Absolutely. So we're going to continue focusing in that direction, but we will keep every avenue open for automating the millionaire building process for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the day. I'm going to send you off. Let's give one more time Mitch Dorsey a big round of applause. It's not easy. It's not easy being the Scaredy Cat Guide to real estate investing, but he has done it well. It's not easy being on this call with this community every single week, every single year for the last 5 years, but that's what Mike Shine has done. That's what Mitch has done. That's what Doreen has done. That's what Ron has done. And so for every one of you who is new to the community, new to the program, we genuinely appreciate your commitment to yourself and to this community and to your family and to the people who you're going to help once you got yours. We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. I'll see you on the next one.